Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and co-parents of all ages, this podcast is for you. Introducing and the center ring, the Amicable divorce expert, Judith Weigel.
Happy New Year, everybody. We are the 28th of December. This is the last episode of the year. We normally do celebrity divorces on the last Wednesday of the month, but today you are the celebrities. You are the people listening to this podcast that are going to make a difference in your divorce. You're going to use strategies and tips that we've learned from so many wonderful guests, and you're going to apply them to your own divorce. And I guarantee you that if you can just apply one strategy, whether it's how you talk to your spouse, how you co-parent with your spouse, if you go through the grieving stages so you can get past blame, if you cannot use your children as pawns, if you can change the way you communicate to everybody on your team, I guarantee you it only takes one person to change the trajectory of the divorce from acrimonious to more amicable. Maybe it won't be perfect. It'll be perfect when both people are willing to roll up their sleeves, go through the grief stages so that they can then address co-parenting if there aren't minor children, if they can just leave the marriage without anger, without bitterness. You will have really made a major accomplishment in your life. But so this, I wanted to pay tribute to all of you for listening to this podcast, probably listening to several other podcasts as well, trying to gather as much information as you can to be the best you can at the divorce that has to unfortunately follow, or fortunately, depending on why you're getting divorced. It may be the best thing for you. It can be the best thing for you, although it will be sad. So thank you very much for the time that you've invested in this year. Let's talk about next year. I am going to focus next year on the 4 ingredients that I have created in the recipe for a heart-healthy divorce. It's something that I'm going to be training on, I'm going to be writing about, and I'm going to be speaking about on this podcast. For 10 years, I've been in the divorce arena. I started out as a mediator, then became a paralegal who got additionally licensed as a legal document preparation company to be able to file for divorces. And I took the tougher road. My colleagues who are legal document preparation people almost never deal with both spouses. I chose to deal with both spouses because I thought I could make a difference in helping people change the trajectory of the emotion of the divorce, therefore the divisions of the divorce. There are 4 steps in the recipe for a heart-healthy divorce. And I'm going to spend a considerable amount of time on each step. The very first step, and this is for anybody listening today who has not yet filed or who has just recently filed. Settle the emotional divorce before you file for and attempt to settle the legal divorce. There are 2 divorces, and I've been saying this for years. There are 2 divorces. There's the emotional divorce. There's the uncoupling. That's the emotional divorce, the process by which we detach from one another emotionally. And that process takes a little bit of time. It's messy. It's rocky. Both spouses are not on the same energy path. People need different amounts of time to get through the grieving. You need therapy to get through the grieving. You can't really do it on your own, generally. But you have to go through the emotional divorce if you want to be at your best filing for the legal divorce. So what happens is, if people don't on their own decide to take time from the time they decide to get divorced until they file. If people don't take time, live apart, go through the grieving, it's going to take place during the legal divorce. And that's when you spend way too much money and hire very expensive attorneys who, by the way, I'm in favor of hiring good attorneys that will help you and give you legal counsel. I never, ever, ever want to take attorneys out of the picture. They're important. But attorneys are hired to represent people for two reasons. A, the spouses can't talk to one another, so the attorneys talk to each other for their clients. That takes a lot of time and a lot of money. Or one spouse believes the other spouse is completely lying, is not going to truthfully provide information for assets and debts or income. That's when you hire attorneys to compel information that you don't think you're going to get from your spouse, or at a certain point realize you need to hire an attorney to compel. But let me tell you that 80% of the divorces settle out of court. 80% of the divorces do not go to trial. So the process is to work out a conclusion, and hopefully in mediation. Mediation is that wonderful space and opportunity where spouses can craft the unique settlement that's right for them. But you can't even do mediation if you haven't grieved a little bit on your own. So we're going to talk about, well, what does this all entail? Okay, that's great, Judy. We get it. We have to calm down. We have to go through the grieving. We have to get some therapy. We have to work out our emotions before we file. Well, how long does that take? When will we get there? And what if we've already started filing? No problem. I am going to take you down both of those paths, and I'm going to show you how you can pause a divorce so that you can grieve, or so that you can at least talk to your spouse and organize finances, organize your children so that you can have a second household. And we can go through mediation just to organize how this is going to work before we start the legal filing. So we're going to spend time on that. The second ingredient in the recipe for a heart-healthy divorce is compartmentalizing time. Everybody needs to put divorce in its place, so to speak. Most of us have jobs. We need to focus on our jobs in the day part that we go to work. We can't afford to be talking to any legal professionals, doing any paperwork, or exchanging angry text messages and emails from our spouses. We have to focus on work. So I'm going to show you how you compartmentalize time with the confidence that you will get everything done, so that you can have space to think, so you can breathe, so that the divorce doesn't engulf your entire day and your entire life. And this is really important because we can so easily become depressed while we're going through divorce. And we need time off from divorce. We really do. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you how to get that done. I'm also going to spend time on another ingredient, communication for conflict. And my gosh, isn't this the perfect time? So there is going to be conflict. Even if you are amicable with one another, you may not agree on something, or something may happen that will trigger emotion. So yes, it's an emotional roller coaster, but there are definitely tips for conflict communication. Let's just say you're married to a narcissist, married to a sociopath, married to somebody with bipolar disorder, married to somebody that has just a hybrid of issues that makes them difficult to deal with. And maybe this is why you're getting divorced. There is still a way to communicate so that you're not pushed to the brink, so that you're at your best. And so you learn these little communication tips and tricks that are beneficial and healthy for both of you, even if you have to talk to their counsel. Even if they are represented by counsel, you don't want to be because it's just too simple a divorce. Why should you be? Or even if it's not a simple divorce, it's not complicated. The assets and debts, easy to divide, but become problematic because you may be married to somebody who's out for blood or is not able to compromise. There are still communication tricks and tips I want to show you for the benefit of both of you. And you can use these in other parts of your life. And then lastly, a self-care program that involves laughter. It is so extremely important that you balance the sadness that you're feeling during divorce with humor. We just need to escape. It's okay. It's actually on the Mayo Clinic website that laughter is the best medicine with statistics attached. So yes, when the Mayo Clinic says laughter is the best medicine, I think we should listen. So we're going to go through all 4 of these steps next year. I'm going to position you so that you can communicate in difficult situations, so that you understand the behavior of your spouse and possibly your spouse's attorney, and you can respond accordingly. I'm going to show you how you can control time because you literally feel like you're out of control. That's what it feels like when you're getting divorced. You're completely out of control. And maybe you are a little bit out of control with your emotions, but I want you to get back in touch. I want you to be in control as soon as possible. And timing. Everything is about time. Everything is about time and how we use time. So I look forward to next year. And I look forward to what we can do together to change not only your divorce, but people you know. And let's turn them on to this podcast as well. So thank you all for giving me a great year of opportunities to help you. I hope this is a turning point for you. I hope that you will engage in your divorce in a completely different way. And I absolutely know that you have the ability to make your divorce better than you ever thought it possibly could be. So happy holidays, happy new year. Thank you so much, every one of you. Let's kick down the door for 2023. And as always, have an amicable day.
That's our show for today. Thank you for joining us. Be good to yourselves, be kind to your spouse, and cherish your children above all else.